Hello Virgo, this is your reading for April, May 2021, or for whenever you come across this reading. It's for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus, although I do specifically on my dice have the South Node, so that may be relevant to you. I also have the number 5, speaks about change and conflict, but I am sort of using my dice in terms of the houses, astrological houses. So this reading may be about romance and children. I'm actually seeing it more about children than anything else. So I've not clarified it yet, Virgo. We might get a different story when we clarify. This story would seem to be about probably a child leaving their hometown, leaving home, leaving the womb, and yeah, moving in a completely new direction here. There may be, I mean, this could be you, you know, it doesn't need to be a child. Because I have the maiden in the underworld, in the subconscious, it doesn't need to be a younger person, but I'm kind of seeing it that way. But it's someone who has a lot to learn, ultimately. It is the archetype of the princess, someone who's very innocent, youthful, vital, curious, got lots of exploration to be done, just an enormous amount to learn. It's the maiden, mother and crone, so very, very young stages. Can be a teenager or, you know, just a young female usually. It can be about exploring sensuality. I'm not really seeing that. It's ultimately something, an upsurge of curiosity in terms of learning. And it almost feels like the current environment is not conducive for that. But the oracle cards we have are the Snow Angel and Internal Explorer. So the Snow Angel is, you've already been told, kind of thing. The messages are already there. You've probably already asked for signs, asked for meanings, and you've been giving them quite clearly. But it's now kind of at the point where you're refusing to hear. And that can be because you fear what the signs are telling you to do or leading you in the direction of. So you sort of keep putting things on pause and delay, and ultimately hesitating following through on the very question that you're asking for signs on that you've already been shown. This card very much comes through as you've already been shown, and if you keep missing the signs, that it's like, you know, your guides are at the point where we really don't know how more we can show you. We don't know what else we can do. We made it really, really clear, you know. You've asked to see, you know, a bronze and purple flapping bird. And if that transpires, it means such and such. And then you see a bronze and flapping bird and you're like, yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure because, you know, there's a lot of them around. So really, I better just check and ask for something even more obscure. So I do sometimes see this card as slight frustration coming through from your guidance. Okay. And the Internal Explorer is, yeah, just that, doing a lot of internal exploring. It can be about channeling information. You know, there might be the messages are there, the signs are there. It just couldn't be clearer, Virgo, to be perfectly honest. But it can also be sort of breaking free from your limiting intellect, you know, having access to wisdom from the collective consciousness, or just wisdom in general. But there's something here about breaking the glass ceiling, about you know, breaking out, expanding your consciousness, your awareness. But I mean, for some of you, it actually means physically leaving your hometown, your parental home, or, you know, it can be for some of you, might just be a community, it might be a family, because you are coming through as the village in reverse. So the village is your community, it's your family, it's your tribe, it's your hometown, it's where you're rooted, your immediate environment. When it's in reverse, it comes through as, I just see someone really wants to break out and move in a new direction, maybe even relocate. But it can also mean small-mindedness, feeling trapped, restricted in a sort of, you know, parochial, gossipy environment. It just feels like your environment's it's not It's not that it's bad, we'll clarify it, but it just doesn't feel that it's enough. And there's someone here, and what needs to come through or wants to come through from the subconscious is a desire to explore, a desire to learn. But it's coming from a fairly naive place with someone who does have a huge amount to learn. So I'm wondering, with the Father being here and the guidance and the blessing, is that that may be a further restriction, or you may need to seek out some wise paternal masculine figure who has some answers for you that might help you. In the past here you have the womb. So the womb and the maiden, there is certainly, you know, possible pregnancies here, sensuality, exploration, that kind of thing. The womb is your origins, the village. Yeah, it just feels like a hometown. You know, can't see it any other way yet. So it's a really peaceful place. Usually it's a place of harmony. If you think what the womb is, it's basically, you know, your origins. It's where you have warmth and comfort and protection. And but I just feel someone wants to break free here. So the wisdom, not the wisdom, the guidance and the blessing is the Father. So it could be your own father, you know, any sort of you know, wise masculine. It's someone who is strategic, someone who might be in authority, and you know, it might just be you want to go to university. That can sometimes come through as the Father. It's like it's a structure, you know. It's a bit like the Hierophant to me sometimes. And in terms of the future, what's coming in for you, we have the vow. All upright. The only thing that's in its reverse position here, which really draws attention to, is ultimately yourself. You know? So it's almost like all the signs are there. All the signs are there from the past, the future, the underworld, you know, your headspace, your guidance. Your guides are telling you, they've already told you, you just need to break the glass ceiling in your thinking. So it might come from a fear of, you know, just breaking out, making that first move, leaving home, moving a fair distance from home possibly, because in the future here there's some sort of contract, there's a vow, a promise. It might be some sort of, it can be an archetype for some sort of ceremony, some sort of initiation into something brand new, but we're going to clarify here. But that really is the bare bones of it. You already have the signs that you've already asked for. It's your own internal thinking and possible fear of, you know, leaving, you know, a comfortable environment, a safe place, because you maybe just don't have enough knowledge coming through as the maiden. Let's just have a look. Not going to clarify the past. We know that's fairly self-explanatory. Let's have a look at why the village is reversed for Virgo. Virgo. Liberation. Liberate yourself, Virgo. Why is the village reversed for the Virgo I'm reading for? Yeah, it's indecision. It's not being able to make a decision. It's fear of making the wrong decision. Hence, no decision is made. It's, you know, in and out. That kind of eek moment. But this card is telling you it is decision time. You do have to make a decision, even though you're nervous about it, even though you maybe feel you don't have enough knowledge. You're moving towards something where you might be a complete novice, and maybe you're not naturally. Maybe you're a father or a masculine, you know, someone who has some age and wisdom behind them, but in a certain department that you're thinking you're moving towards, you're a complete novice. That's quite possible. So undecided. What does the village represent though? Singer of Transfiguration. This is a fantastic card. This is a yes card. There's another sign for you, Virgo. What that means. This is metamorphosis, it's transformation, it's reward, jackpot. Yeah, it's the phoenix rising from the ashes. Everything here is just saying you need to break out of whatever this either environment or mental headspaces that's kept you trapped. So you maybe live in a tiny little village and you want to go, you know, to the city. And, you know, that's like an environment that, you know, is probably pretty frightening. Kind of being guided that way. But let's see what the Father has to say. What does the Father say in terms of guidance and blessings for Virgo? What does the Father say? Oh, right, okay. So we've got the journeyman in reverse here. So this might be a father figure or a masculine who, I mean, I say it could be you, but this might be someone saying you're not going. You're not going. You're too young. You're too immature. You're inexperienced. You don't know what you're getting yourself involved in. You're not going. Or I'm not going to let you go. Or I'm not going to drive you there. Yeah, because there's not breaking free here. Least of the shadows in the darkness. This is not being able to break free. It's been stuck somewhere negative. Stuck in the shadows. This can be about bondage and addictions. Yeah. So, yeah. Who is the father to Virgo? I would just... Oh, crikey. It's a bit of a shock here. This is, as I say, the father can represent structure. And this is the card speaks of a breakdown of structures. It can be a bit of a rude awakening. Something that comes through is a bit of a shock. So it's almost like someone takes some sort of action here. This can be like the child defying the father. I'm going to go my way. I'm going to do it my way. And, you know, the father here is disallowing. I'm struck that the journeyman is heading back to the womb in the past here. Says that I'm taking you home, you're going nowhere, lady. The memories. But I really think that someone here wants to move in a new direction. But it depends on the signs that you've already asked for and have been shown, Virgo, as to where you go with that. But in the future, we have the vow in the future. I say, I'm going to do my own thing. Hee-haw. This is really foolish behaviour, though, I have to say. But it can be a bit of a mixed blessings card. It's very childlike and it's very trusting. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm just going to go and do my own thing. Hang on. Show me the vow with Mickle and Muckle for the future for Virgo. I really just get that, you know, from a father's point of view here, they're seeing a child who doesn't have sufficient experience to manage what they're contemplating, and they're trying to put the brakes on here, and a child who naturally needs to explore and learn, and maybe, you know, determined to kind of go their own way. The vow with Mickle and Muckle in Virgo's future. The vow with Mickle and Muckle. The bow with Mickle and Muckle done there. Hold on. Okay, have a look at this one. Virgo. Virgo, please. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done already. If you would like a reading or Reiki, all my information is below. I haven't had any tunes come through yet, but if I do, they will be posted below. Okay, card down. Got 5 of Pentacles falling out the house. Put it back in. You know, I would say that had the village, this obviously represents you, had the village been upright, it may be that, you know, this is really good advice, and ultimately it is usually your guidance, okay? But it's in reverse, which speaks to me of real small-mindedness and someone just needing to, you know, carve their own path and explore, make their own mistakes sometimes. Show me the vow for Virgo with Mickle and Muckle. The vow for Virgo in the future for Virgo with the vow. It's the 10 of Pentacles. So it's like they had the 5, which is the leaving, the you know, it can be sort of financial loss or feeling out in the cold, feeling unincluded. And now we move on to the future, 10 of Pentacles, which is fantastic. It's stability, it's security. It's like, you know, it's going to, just, the streets are paved with gold. It's going to, you're going to London where the streets are paved with gold. So if there's a contract that comes your way, and even if it requires possibly defying a parental figure or whoever the father represents, it does seem to have the potential of the 10 of Pentacles. 4 of Cups in reverse here, because I just feel that someone isn't satisfied where they are and they want to follow their dreams. It really is that simple. There is guidance here. The star speaks of guidance. The signs are already with you in the Snow Angel. You know where you have to go. It's possibly, you know, you might have like a naysayer or someone who's trying to put you off, or you don't have the confidence because you're, you know, the maiden is there. Let's have a look at the maiden. And the maiden's a star with the bloody temperance. Oh, come on. This is like literally a child that needs to explore and needs to carve their own path. It looks really positive. You know, it almost feels that someone just encourage them. Why not? I get a really excited, you know, buzzy energy about that. And for some reason, someone's putting the kibosh on it up here. And yet, ultimately, the future looks bright. It's yellow, not orange. Okay, let me just take you some advice, Virgo. I hope this reading was useful. Virgo's advice: connect with your emotion. The Water Guardian. I don't find that particularly useful, but that's just me. It's basically saying, you know, do the internal exploration here. And I think with the maiden, because as I say, it is kind of like very innocent and novice energy. You might have to just, you know, let all the cycles in terms of your emotions go through you. Especially if you're a female, give it a full 28. Give it a full cycle so that you've experienced everything in a month, you know, before you make a decision. Show me advice for Virgo with the Water Guardian, please. What advice do you have for Virgo? What advice do you have for Virgo with the Water Guardian? Yeah, it's the same thing. Deep emotion. It may even be like there's a deep desire here. It's a deep desire to explore, to take a risk, to follow your own path, walk to the beat of your own drum, all that good stuff. Advice for Virgo. Oh my God, I mean, seriously, I mean, look at that. The Tower, the Key, and the Clover. The Tower, I mean, I do get this whole university, college, you know, the big city sort of thing. You know, moving, it can be like, speak of government, contracts, it says, contracts, law and order. This is the answer. This is the solution. This is a breakthrough, and it's a bloody lucky one at that with the Clover. Streets are paved with gold. Wherever you're going, you're heading towards. This contract represents 10 of Pentacles. So, you know, follow your own path, Virgo. I understand that this feels like a very young energy, and you may well be the, you know, father or mother listening to this reading. But there is huge potential here, and someone has a real desire for it. So I just feel they should be encouraged in that direction. Virgo, that is your reading. I hope it helps, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.